Double Dutch braids. Okay, this is like my favorite workout video ever. You need to grab a couple of rubber bands and a rat tail comb, something with a tail on it, and then for a more flattering part, instead of going straight down the middle, go over from your temple angle to the top of the back of your scalp and then part down to the nape of your neck from there. And then you want to comb the hair straight away from that part so it's smoothed out. And then whichever side you're braiding second, you want to gather that up into a tight ponytail so it keeps that part while you're braiding. And of course, pick out any knots that happen to develop. Before you start braiding this next section, you want to comb it back in the direction you'll be braiding. So that would be kind of back at an angle. And then you grab a section there to start with. Make sure you don't have, it's not such a big section, you'll be losing little short hairs. You divide it into 3 fairly equal sections. And remember I go ahead and make initial passes with those 3 sections. And then you'll start sliding your thumbnail back to section out another piece. Make sure you pull clear out to the end so you don't have tangles where you're braiding. And then you'll feel along the part and kind of just slide your thumbnail out from there to piece out a section to add to that piece. And again, you're always going back under the middle with a double Dutch braid. Under, French is over, Dutch is under. And you just keep repeating all the way down. The Dutch braids give you the effect of a braid laid over the top of the hair, whereas the French braid looks more blended. The thing is, where those Dutch braid sections go under, they're a little more anchored, so it's going to stay tighter than a French braid will. For a lot of years I didn't care for the look, but really you can't beat it for a workout hairstyle. And then you want to grab and pull extra tight and close to the scalp for those last couple of sections, and that will help anchor down the bottom part of your braid so it's not loose and odd looking. You want it to be nice and tight at the bottom. And then you just go ahead and finish it up however far down you care to braid, and wherever you're planning to put your band, you want to be braiding well below that so that where you banded the braid it's nice and tight. Otherwise it's going to be loose at the bottom. And it's always a little tricky when you pull the pieces around to the side to finish up the braid, but if you just stop and take a look at what you're doing, you'll be fine and you'll figure it out. Once in a while you might end up with a little twist, but it's really not a big deal. Again, we're putting the band above where we finished braiding, and then you just pull the ends out straight after you're done. See there, I kind of smoothed out the ends. And then we're going to repeat with the other side, same thing. Comb it back in the direction you're braiding. Pull out that section you're going to start with. And the more you do this, the more you'll get the hang of how large a section you pull out and which direction you pull the braid, because the direction you're pulling the braid and the pieces while you braid, that's where the braid is going to lay down. You can pull that side piece under first, pass it under first when you start the braid if you're concerned about that piece pulling out if there are short hairs. How well your hair stays in these styles and whether or not you get a lot of pieces poking out is going to somewhat depend on how layered your haircut is. And you do not want to pancake these braids if you're going to work out, or through the course of your workout it's going to loosen up and you're going to have pieces pulling out and sticking out. It's not the most flattering, but with a little adjustment like that side part, it can still be a decently attractive workout hairstyle. You can see I'm making sure to separate that hair out, clear out to the ends, otherwise you'll end up with a tangled mess. And once in a while you may have to grab all three sections with one hand and pull a tangle out. That can happen. So you just have to slow down, look at what you're doing, and be patient. You cannot be in a rush doing braids like this unless you have a lot of experience. Which, if you do this working out every day, Monday through Friday, you should quickly have that experience, and it will not be hard to do. As you can see from the length of this video, it really doesn't take that long. And again, at the base of this braid, pull those sections tight so it's well anchored and the bottom of the braid doesn't stick out away from your head. And then you can go ahead and finish up that braid. Again, you have to take a close look in the mirror at your sections to make sure you don't get confused. I almost passed the wrong piece under. It looks like it's that higher piece. That's the piece that needs to go under. And now I can finish it out. And again, you want to braid down further than the spot where you're going to put your band. You can pull the other braid around and kind of eyeball where that is and braid down below it. You can see there how I braided down below it, and I'm putting the braid over a section where the braid is nice and tight. And then I can pull those ends out straight, and I'm done. And I think it turned out pretty nice. That's all there is to it.